Hey guys, so we're going to move on into competency 2 and start looking at a little bit of different areas of business. Your essential question for this section is, what are information literacy skills that are used to increase workplace efficiency and effectiveness? Has a lot of wording. It's just being able to use those skills that you have and make the workplace better. So we're going to look at your 2.01 notes. I'm going to pull those up and I'll just walk through them with you. These slides have 10 slides. It won't take us that long to look at them. But right here you see, let me just go ahead and move this around a little bit. Alright. So, using information literacy skills in order to enhance the workplace efficiency and effectiveness. Hang on a second. That thing gets loud. Let's see if I can get it to cut off. And I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger so you can see it better. There we go. Alright, so assess information needs. The first one says determining information. You've got to make sure that the information you're getting is true, that it's factual information, and it's not just coming from a source where you can't back it up. And another thing is criticism. There's good criticism, and then there's bad criticism. But if it's being used in order to make you or your business better, then that's good. And we all can use a little constructive criticism from time to time to help us do better. And then you have opinions, and y'all know what they say about opinions. Everybody has one. You have to really look at people's opinions, though, and see if it's something that's needed in order to help the business, or if it's just somebody spouting off and it's not going to do you any good. So be sure and look at all the areas surrounding the opinion. Make sure that somebody's not expressing their opinion just based on the fact that they're upset or that they're mad about something that happened in the company. Types and formats of information sources. You've got formality of information first. That's how much you trust that that information is good, valid information. You have disciplines. Looking at the information literacy practices, it's all based on that discipline. So is it current information? Is it good information to use? Then do you have historical information? Looking back over how the business has done in the past years, a lot of companies use historical information to guide them about how to run the business in the future. And then you have primary versus secondary. Where are you getting that information? Does it come straight from the source? So if it's something that comes right from the source, then that's primary. And if you get it because it was reported through another area, then that becomes secondary information. I'll scroll that down just a little bit there. And this section is, what did I have up here? Whoops, wrong one. Hang on. Obtain needed information efficiently. So how to get that information when you need it. And they've got methods and techniques here. And of course we go to the internet for a whole lot of information. And businesses do too. But make sure that the website that you're getting that information from is a good website. And most of the time we want to look at something that's .edu or, if it's a good, valid website that gives good information, that's good. Sometimes people go to Wikipedia, which anybody can put information in there, so that's not a good, valid website to get information. Procedures for getting that information, it says your best bet is not a search engine, but a web directory. And you can see some of those here. They have Open Directory Project, Google Directory, or Yahoo. And then they have a source link on there for you to check out. And I encourage you to go back through the notes, look over them again, even after I have looked at them with you. It's always good to look back. All right, factors that should be evaluated when assessing information's quality. Is it valid information? Has there been, a study that shows that it's true, that it's good to measure by? Reliability. Is it from a source that you can rely upon, something that's trustworthy and dependable? Accuracy. The document must be correct so you can put a point across. If somebody finds out the information you're putting out there is not true, they're going to quit coming to it. And timeliness is big because sometimes the information is outdated. I see a lot of times on Facebook, people will share things and they'll say, oh, this is terrible, you know, and you need to read this. And then you look and it's 10 years old. So make sure that the information you're using has that time value to it, that it's something that is current and, you know, still has validity to it. Bias, making sure that it is something that does not have an unreasonable judgment on it just because maybe that person has been through a personal situation dealing with that topic. Procedures for evaluating quality and source of information. It's got authority here. Who published the source? Making sure that that person is someone who knows about what you're talking about and not just somebody, you know, on the street who is given an opinionated version of what they're putting out there. Currency. When was the source published and is it current? We just talked about that a little bit. And also, what's the purpose? Why are they putting it out there? What's their intention? To be able to get you to like the product or to say, you know, this is a bad company, you don't want to deal with them. So see what it is, what their purpose is for putting it there. These are different ways to organize information in order to support the purpose and also for the formatting. You have outlines, and this is the hierarchical way of doing things. You outline something, you put your main topic, and then you come down with subtopics underneath it. Drafts, just drafting something up real quick, researching it, and a lot of times you use that draft and then you go back, look at the draft, and then you write your final cut. Storyboards, it's pictures or ways to sketch it out in order to get that information together. I'm very visual, so sometimes I like something that has the pictures in it to be able to organize information. Proposals, bringing an idea forward to the company to say, this is my idea and would you consider it? And then you have summaries. Looking at something, you don't focus on the specifics, but you just give an overall synopsis of what it is you're presenting. These are ways to integrate existing information. So quoting, and sometimes, you know, we quote other people. When we do that, we do the quotation marks. You have to have quotation marks around something that's quoted in order for that to be correct. Summarizing, we pretty much talked about a minute ago. Really taking a story or something that you're seeing, putting it into your own words. Copying, that's just taking something and, you know, using it. Pretty much, you're not changing anything about it, but you're using a very, very close version of it, or either you are using that version itself. And then manipulating means to change it in some way, and you just manipulate the information that you have. Advantages of storing and recording information. Documentation. I always tell people document everything you do, because it's having paperwork then to be able to go back and see what's been done. There's an audit trail. This is basically when they're talking, especially tax audits, because then if the company gets audited, which means that they come in, they want to see all their records and they want to make sure the company's on the up and up, they have copies of things to be able to go back and look at and say, okay, they're doing what you're supposed to. Personal files. Keep records, keep them in a safe place, and, you know, typically you're talking about mortgages, vehicle registrations, things like that, things that you need to make sure that it's in a place in case of fire or theft that it won't be messed up, that you'll be able to go back to it. And then you have heritage preservation, photos, newspaper articles, anything like that that you save to be able to look at later. A lot of times you're talking about things that have sentimental value. Negative results of storing and recording information. Sometimes that information becomes obsolete, so it's not good anymore. security of information. If you store it, then you have a risk of somebody being able to see it and take it. And then challenges of storing and recording information. Record keeping, the documents being duplicated, somebody getting a hold of them and copying them. Your storage space, you may not have enough space to be able to keep all the records that you need. And filing systems, purchasing your software is not adequate to maintain all programs used. Sometimes that software you get is just not enough. And then you have employer analysis, identify what data the company has, how its employees typically use it, and then you can take that information and it helps you decide what you need to collect and what you need to keep. And a lot of times with companies, you're talking about things they have to have for legal aspects. Their tax records and stuff they have to keep on file for 7 years. So you have to see, you know, what's pertinent information. What's the information I'm going to need, and what's the information I can let go. All right, so these are your 2.01 notes, and right after your notes, you'll do the assignment with your 2.01 notes organizer. I will post that. If you have any questions, there again, send me a message, let me know. I will be on Google Meet every day from 2:15 to 3 if you need me. Bye now.